Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, everybody? This is another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. As you can see, it's one brother in the building. So this is how we're getting down this morning. My other brothers will be here momentarily. But I appreciate you guys rocking with us and hanging with us and coming on. We are on every single day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we appreciate you guys rocking and hanging with us. So we're going to have an amazing show today. And as always, we thank you for being here. Thank you for rocking with us. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. And all my replay viewers, as you are watching, make sure you are sharing as well and tagging another brother that can be in the building. So this is going to be a great show. And this week, because we're getting close to we're in the voting season. We're about 2 weeks away from voting day. And we got to see us going to go down. We all have expectations of what we want to happen. And prayerfully, it goes the way we want. I guess depending on how you want it to go. But yeah, it's going to be great. But now, with the rise of, I guess, Ice Cube kind of started it in a sense or made it popular with the Black Agenda, the contract with Black America. It seems now that, good morning, Deborah. Good morning. It seems now that P. Diddy is getting into it as well. He has always kind of been out there. What's up, Lisa? Great morning. Shared. Awesome. He's always been a part of that conversation. I know years ago, and he spoke about this on an interview with Charlemagne the God. How he did the voter die, if you guys remember that. And now he says this is kind of a transition into that. Greetings, Mama McCoy. Great morning to you. And he spoke about, the voter die, as well as, like I said, transitioning into this space where he now is talking about it looks like starting a Black party. I don't know, I have my reservations about doing it that route. All alone. I'm all alone right now. Gotta hold it down. P.O.P. What's up, Cheryl? Great morning to you. So you guys' participation is a must. We're gonna have a conversation about this because I want to share some things, as well as I want you guys' input. So I titled this thing, what did I say? The Black Agenda versus the Unified Agenda, or you said I tried. The Black Agenda versus the Unified Agenda. That's right. One man, one mic. Don't start with me. So it's the Black agenda, and I say the unified agenda, meaning, should it be an all-inclusive American agenda? Can't hear. Oh no, you can't go. You know where to go. You got YouTube and Facebook. You and Periscope don't work, my friend. Yes. So the two agendas. So you have the Black agenda, or should it be an American agenda? Because I've been thinking about that. Like, real talk. I was like, okay, instead of having a separate agenda for us, what if we have an all-inclusive agenda which resonates equality? And I know we've been down that road in certain aspects, but at the same time, it's a win for America. That includes us. Get it? So we, instead of being in a space where we're so separate, we create a space where we're together. So I want you to ponder on that before we get started. Of course, always with the intro. Hang tight, hold on. This is going to be an awesome show. So think about what I just said, and let's get into it. I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another episode. Good morning. What's up, everybody? All right, and we're back. Let's see. I'm trying to share the video. All right. Nope, that's not how I want to share it. Bam, bam, bam. Um, so I don't know. Have you guys had an opportunity to read any of the plans, the Lift Every Voice plan by Joe Biden, the Platinum plan by Donald Trump, or the contract with Black America from Ice Cube? If you guys let me know in the comments, have you had an opportunity to read any of those plans? They're interesting. I will say Joe Biden is the most thorough. All right, I hear you, Deborah. Um, Joe Biden's is the most thorough. Um, he breaks down a lot more than the other two. I think everyone was trying to take a broad stroke and kind of tell you what they're going to touch on, but he kind of dug in the weeds a little bit. So it's interesting what they both said. But my thing is, right. So we're trying to we don't want a separated country, right? We don't want two Americas again, in any sorts. So my question today is it better that we have this agenda or contract with Black America that we agree to, or someone comes up with a new contract for New America? A contract for a New America where everything is laid out that affects everyone. You said I haven't read them any of them thoroughly, because to me it's all empty promises on paper. I got you. But I feel like at least now it's kind of a framework to work with. Yes, that they're just promises, but there is no deliberate action. Like if you have like equal justice, we're gonna enact this law, we're gonna do these specific things to change what's been happening. And we know sometimes even with laws, it doesn't change automatically, but it's at least something to push in the right direction. And it takes time for for these laws to go from, especially a federal level, to the state level, then to get trickled down into the local level and then interpreted properly. Because that interpretation is what matters. And then that's your part on the local level to ensure anything that's pushed federally is pushed into the local. So if it's a law, your sheriff is following these new protocols and provisions properly. What up? What up? Cole in the building. So yeah, it's imperative that we have an understanding of what's being offered. We have an understanding of what's being given, because it's if we get too caught up in just the federal level, we get excited about the laws passed and we don't push for it to be given out on the local level, then we'll miss out on so much. We'll miss out on the opportunities that are there, because we think it's just going to happen automatically. The fight this is just the beginning, right? You have the promises, then you have the laws, then you have to make sure the laws are enforced, because that's the next step. Because just because there's a law in the book doesn't mean the law will be enforced. Just because these opportunities of money or financial gain is there doesn't mean it'll trickle down into your local economy. I think it's still going to take us to be vigilant past this November, like real talk, past this November, because I even spoke with Sam. It's not just what's up, Ashley? It's not just push for the president, we win. It's holding his feet to the fire as to what he's put down on paper. Like you said, this paper with promises, we have to make sure they're not right. They're not empty promises, because we get that all the time. We've gotten that. I know I've heard it forever. Even every other American, a politician gets up, we're going to do this, no new taxes. And then you bust out some taxes. We're not going to raise taxes. Then your taxes get raised. You're like, wait, what happened? I thought you promised, so it's, that probably Terry in the building, empty promises on paper. Right. And we have to hold the feet to the fire. So going into that talk, so we have, like I said, you have the different plans, right? How many plans have contingencies? when this happens, this happens. If this doesn't happen, this happens. Right. Right. That's true. That's true. And every bill, there's always other stuff they add to it as well. But the thing is, like I said, we have to understand this is just the first election cycle. So we got the president. The 2 years, remember 2 years, we got our House of Representatives, and we have local elections that come up. Now, what I need y'all to be vigilant about is watching your local elections, because some elections aren't in the regular cycle. Yeah, if y'all know that, some people are having elections next year. Some cycles are different. So you have to know what's happening locally, because that's how they get us. So only those that are in the trenches that know what's going on vote these same people in that make some serious decisions. So we have to know our election cycle. You got to be into your politics. Now, you don't have to be so deep in, you got to know everything, but at least pay attention to your voting cycle. Know what district you're in, know what county you're in. Here in Henry County, it's like 2 counties intertwined based on some gerrymandered way. I feel like there is, like, we're in like a Henry County, then there's a Henry County, there's a city. No, I'm sorry. There's the town of Stockbridge and the city of Stockbridge, right? All together. So, because I went to vote one place, I know this is for the city, and like all these signs, people voting, I couldn't vote for any of these people because they don't represent my city. And I'm like, they're right here. So they don't, so it's crazy. It's crazy. So you got to understand how your city is broken down, right? He said we also have some U.S. senatorial races into right as well. Many politicians have long tenures because they run unopposed. Me and Sam talked about that. We was going through the ballot. It was like, why are these people unopposed? To your point, the people don't know when the race, right? And it's like job openings are happening, or the possibility, and the same doodle birds are getting the same jobs because nobody's going against them. And honestly, we don't even know how great of a job they're doing at whatever it is they're in. How much their job is affecting my everyday. What are they doing? Because a lot of positions are allocating money to things, and some are appointing people to allocate money to things. So we have to get into our local. We got to know what's going on. I'm telling you, we are missing out on so much. The president matters, but what's happening locally matters more. It matters more because, like I said, President, Congress, they create laws, but it's how the local interprets the law is what matters. Because it's funny going into the whole, right, the Joe Biden argument with the laws of the criminal laws and things like that, the super predators. It's not just what was passed, it's how people interpreted that became the problem. And he even mentioned, like, he took heat for it, and he apologized, and he said, he wished he would have, made better decision. But at the same time, he mentioned, it wasn't just him in this process. It's the local, how they interpret the law. Who's your sheriff? Who's your mayor? Right? Who's your local government, your governing body? You got to know these things in order for things to happen effectively, and not to get railroaded. Oh, you got to know your local laws. I've unfortunately been in small town courts, and some of the rules, you're like, oh man, this is not going to be good. So it's key. What up, O'Keenie? Great morning to you, my brother. So my question today, everybody on here listening. My question is, should there be a separate, like, Black agenda that is designed kind of like the way SQ kind of put it, the contract with Black America, in the sense where these are the things we most agree on, or should it be a new American contract with everything line item as far as what America needs that includes us? Because if equality is what we're seeking, should it be all inclusive, or should it be separate? So that's my question. I want you guys to chime in on that. Let me know what's going down and how you feel about that. Because a lot of times, it sucks because you feel like, you're an outcast in your home. We're like the stepchildren. and which is real talk. We feel like we hear, but we're not respected sometimes. We're here, but we're not accounted for. We're great when we're performing and doing what and making you laugh, making you smile, contributing to the work. But when it comes to the rights, and the availability of funds and things of that nature, it seems like it becomes difficult. I've learned late, and it's probably been going on for a while, but housing discrimination has kind of ramped up into a place where now, what's up, Dwayne?
What's going on?
Whew, not alone anymore, but it ramped up into a place where housing has been, there's a discriminatory housing of pricing, meaning, if they come to appraise your house, they find out you're black, your pricing has been lowered, where where if you have a family that's white, same area, they've been appraised at a higher amount, and people have done experiments. They removed black faces and black family, replaced it with white families, and the appraisal is different. And it's crazy how things like that. How do you change? How can you create a law to fight against that? Because appraisal is one person coming in with their judgment, their skill. They looking at the typical stuff, looking at the structure and things like that, and then looking at the inside and creating and saying this is the market price for this house and taking it to the bank. How do you change things like that? So, Dwayne, as we start off, we're talking about Black agenda versus a unified agenda, and I was saying instead of having a full Black agenda, what if we had an agenda that's for America that includes us? Is that possible, or you think we should be separate?
Well, personally, I believe that all of it is possible. I think that people are the X factor. I think like in every equation, you have the constant and the variable.
Right.
Well, people are the variable, and I think people are who messes up most things. And if people can get past wanting to have power for themselves or wanting
Right.
to have something for themselves as
Right.
opposed to a great unity, then
Right.
it would be easy.
Right.
However, I think the problem lays.
Bring it. You got your mic? You
Yeah,
holding your mic?
can
Oh
you
yeah.
hear me?
Go.
Is it
I
better
need a
now?
little closer here.
Okay. The major issue here is people with power, people with authority, they don't want to share that.
Mm,
And I think that's more so a problem than the unification portion, because
okay.
I think when we look at life, we look at every racial issue in America, every racial divide in
Right.
America. I'm pretty sure that you got white, black, and everything else marching for what's quote unquote right, right?
Right. Right.
We um, homosexuality, you got white and black on both sides.
Right.
Abortion, you got white and black on both sides.
Right.
Pro-choice, I mean, it doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
Redlining, you have white and black that are against it. The problem is the people with the control in their hands are still like this, and they refuse to let go of that control and that authority. And I believe that that's where the unity issue comes in at.
Right.
And it's gonna be the same throughout time. Either one or two things are gonna happen. Either the 90% or 95% of us who are actually in the fight, living this life day in and day out,
Right.
either we do this and we become one
Right.
against that 5%,
Right.
or we continue to bicker amongst 45 versus this 45, or this
Right.
30 versus this 30,
Right.
and then 20% united, and then everybody else gets what they want anyway.
Right.
Somebody says some people in power have hidden agendas. No,
Right.
I don't even think it's
It's
that
hidden.
it's people in power have hidden agendas. I
It's
think
crazy.
they are hidden with open agendas. We just don't ever see them.
Okay. Okay. That's different. Okay. Oh, Cole said, the way it's going, there should be a unique agenda to cater to Black America. Look at communities who do a wonderful job of building community wealth. That's due to their culture's agenda shining through even among a larger American tapestry. Okay.
I like the way you worded that, Cole.
Yeah. Your
Cole,
code
you've been reading
code is
his
good, man.
thesaurus. Cole been reading his thesaurus on that one. I like it though.
Selfishness and personal agenda stops unity. Kind of like Democrat Republicans, unity we need to have is with each other, which will then show them we can be a force. Right. Right.
I agree with I, Mr. Reed. My apologies if I pronounce your name wrong, Okini.
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay.
Okay, that's my man.
Because the way I feel is this: America is full of one healthy thing that's never gone away:
Right.
competition.
Right. Right.
Everything you look at in the American competition is what we thrive on.
Right.
Sports,
Right.
media, business,
Yep.
even religion.
Yep.
Everything is based in some type of competition.
Right.
We can't even have a presidential we can't even run a presidential campaign where the theme of why we're doing this is America and making
Right.
America truly better.
Right.
But you got this opposition
Mhm.
against this polar opposition.
Right. Right.
And then the neutral one that's independent, free of the parties, they get about 5% of the vote because you ain't on
Right.
the field.
Yeah.
Everything
Right.
we do is about look. You as a soldier, when I was a soldier, you couldn't tell me another army in the world was better than us.
Right.
Cause it'd come out something like, oh well, okay, let's find a battlefield. You get your guns, I get my guns. You get your tanks, I get my tanks, and
Right.
we go handle this.
You go handle it. Right. Right. Right.
Cards.
Right.
Look, I mean, you look at it, and what people do when in competition is they find ways to tweak the things that we hold nearest and dearest
Right.
and turn them and they weaponize them.
True. True.
America right now is dealing with weaponized religion.
Right.
We
Right.
see evangelicals who dismiss some things that are in the Bible and weaponize other things that are in the Bible, and
Right.
it's part of the issue of keeping us apart.
Right.
The Democratic Party they've weaponized they've weaponized anguish and pain.
Right.
Why
Right.
do black people identify with the Republican Party? I mean the Democratic Party. Some people ask a stupid question, and then I'm gonna
Right.
call it stupid. Well, why do black people always go Democrat? Well, because Democrats see and triage people and say, "Oh, you got a wound here." Nobody else gives a crap about this wound, but they're at least asking about this wound.
Right. Right. Right.
So that's why.
That's a good point. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
so that's why that's why black people have identified with the Democratic Party for years.
Right.
Because one party looks down at them and is condescending.
Right.
The other party, even if they don't mean well, hey, let me check out that cut. Oh, you got stitches in your back that hasn't been treated in months. You got an infection. Let me help you out here. Oh, you can't get a job. Here, let me give you some social benefits.
Right. Right. I mean, you're right. They do at least. You're right. It's a at least try something to help you kind of situation. We just there's still stuff stuff we well I won't say need, but there still is a recognizing of certain improvements that need to happen. But you're right. They do give us some kind of band-aid. They recognize, whereas so the other party just like y'all be all right. Get them boots on. You got it.
Right.
Like get it together. It's like no kind of love. Like you got it. We all equal. We all started this race in the same space, which ain't even true. My daddy ain't give me $1 million loan to to do some stuff. So
right. I had a conversation yesterday with my neighbor, AD. He's about 30, and he asked me what was the importance of creating a network while you create a legacy.
Mm.
And I told him this. I was like, listen, you know what the difference between Donald Trump and you? I was like, when Donald Trump stepped out of the nest to be a grown man,
Right.
he stepped out a millionaire.
Right.
He
Right.
stepped out, no worries.
Right.
He stepped out knowing that if I follow these 30 stories that I'm
Mhm.
already at,
Right.
which he's done in the past,
Right.
this is not me taking shots. This is me
It's
talking
true.
reality.
It's true.
Every time he's failed, there's been somebody to lend him a helping hand
Yep.
back to the place where he fell from.
Yep.
When we fall, we usually fall to some type of penitentiary.
Right.
We
Right.
usually
Ooh.
fall to a place where we're below rock
Hey, Lee.
bottom.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's going on, Lisa? And then I looked at him like this, and I hit him with another one. I was like, I'm not making it a white and black issue. It's just
Nope.
a truth issue.
It is. Right.
You take Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Her father was a world famous lawyer who helped OJ get free.
Right.
Right? A lot of people forget about that because of Johnny.
Right. He was. He was there.
What
He
else
was
is
there.
she known for? What else has she done prior to that?
Right.
Oh, she was a friend of an influencer who was the daughter of a rock star. Well, not a rock star, but a music star, and Lionel
Right.
Richie and Nicole Richie.
Right.
That was a second claim to fame.
Yep.
Her third claim to fame, Ray J.
Right. Oh.
But even with those three things,
Right.
she steps out into society with the ability to influence, with the ability to grab money, to have
Right.
a base.
Yep.
And when we step out,
Yep.
we step out from the same neighborhood that 5, 10 other drug dealers
Right.
stepped out of.
Don't get up. Right. He said we fall. Most time we don't get up.
Right.
Right. Right.
But that's the difference.
right.
And,
Right.
and that's why we gotta stop seeing what media tells us should be important. That's why when they say, well, jobs under Donald Trump for black people have been more plentiful than they've ever been. Okay. I'm not denying it. But what
Right.
I am saying is that the Democratic Party before them, and I'm not a Democrat or Republican, but the Democrat
Right.
Republic Party before them, they
Right.
had a president who had to deal with the Republican
Right.
House of Representatives and House
Right.
and Senate.
Right.
And now you have a Republican president who has the luxury of having that same thing, which
Right.
means things get easier when you're trying to work things out.
Right.
I'm not making excuses. What I'm saying is we have to realize that our destiny in this country, and I am saying to vote,
Right.
but what I'm not saying is your vote is life. Yes, you have a responsibility to vote,
Right.
but as Christians, your vote is not what's going to hold you over. Who
Right.
sits in the White House is not going to determine how your life and your children's life and their lives play out. Believe me, God and his omnipotency is not going to trust his sovereignty
Right.
to an American sitting in the White House.
Right. Right.
So
No doubt.
vote.
Right.
Absolutely vote. But let your legacy start at home.
Right. There you go.
Because your legacy and what happens, regardless of the agenda that's in the White House,
Right.
is going to be what you do
Good. No
and
doubt.
how you believe and the steps that we take as husbands, fathers, wives, mothers. It's on us.
Right. He said, I agree. That is where unity happens. We also need to stop seeing each other as a problem and help each other. Falls into the teach a man who had the fish. People see it as themselves catching the fish and feeding others. Oh, Lee said, there's no such thing as a self-made man billionaire, a self-made billionaire. Networking is key, right? But we don't know how to. I think sometimes it's not necessarily not knowing how to. It's upgrading my network. Knowing where to hang out, knowing the people I need to befriend a little bit. Knowing how to sometimes changing your talk and your attitude. Just knowing how to listen, because I think sometimes at work is an opportunity to kind of mix, I guess, for lack of a better word, classes. So as an employee, like I could be running the cash register. If my boss comes up, who's like the store manager or something, if I befriend him, that kind of upgrades my network, so we can have real conversation, if possible. And he can tell me about things like, oh man, I didn't really understand that about money. I didn't know that, and if you really get good with him, he's like, yo, come hang out with me here. So then you meet other people at this specific level, and now you begin to learn things and befriend them, and that's how your network grows. A lot of times we keep ourselves out of that by having this mind. I ain't talking to him about whereas we could just have civil conversation about certain things. You never know what you might learn and how your surroundings can change. So I think
Absolutely.
and then it's your parents, of course, who your parents hang out with, the kids that come over, their parents that come over, and the conversations they have matter as well. Because
Absolutely.
most of these guys, like the Zuckerbergs and the Gates, their parents are already into stuff, with people with money. So he just need to come up with something that he can get money from them to create. So it is your network means so much. It's your network. What they say, your network eats your net worth. So,
Right.
So yeah, that it matters. It really matters.
And I'm gonna steal a line from Shannon Sharp because he he said that greatness, and I'm gonna switch out his greatness with legacy.
Right.
He said greatness is where luck and preparation meets.
Right. Right. Right.
Most of us haven't been prepared because we've been impaired.
Right. Right.
Like my mother, amazing woman.
Right.
Absolutely love my mama to death. My mama will outwork with
It's a being
Alzheimer's
that's
and
on
high
different
blood.
Right.
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 My mom will outwork with Alzheimer's and high blood pressure somebody half her age right now.
Right.
One of the biggest hearts I've ever met took people in who she knew for a week, and they lived and ate our food, which we didn't have much of. But that's the type of person my mom was. But my mom grew up and was married in the 50s. A marriage, I'm not even going to talk about a marriage certificate. That's not even that story. But she grew up in a time, in an era where in the 6th grade, that was as much school as she was going to get.
Right.
Because life required more out of her.
Right.
Because she didn't have a helping hand.
Right.
And the people in her network, they could give her some great words they could pray for her,
Right.
but they couldn't meet no financial needs.
Right.
So 7th, 8th grade, my mother's married with children. Well, 8th, 9th grade, my mom's married with children.
Right.
And that was the norm for her.
Right.
She was impaired from the beginning.
Right.
So now we're in a place where we're better.
Right.
I'd say it's time that we take blinders off and start taking everybody's expectations off.
Right.
You look at our education system here in America.
Right.
It's designed to put you in a factory and have you working in some industry somewhere.
Right.
And when I say industry, I'm talking about old industry where there's a plant and a factory.
Yeah.
It's our education system is set up to a place where it teaches you to fall in line with everything else.
Right.
I think we have to take those blinders off. We have to increase creativity in our homes, in our family, and this in turns increase creativity in our communities.
Right.
So then we can take that that 3 to $5 trillion financial base that is the black family in America, and we can flip that, and then Black Wall Street of old can become the new Atlanta, the new Charlotte, the new wherever.
Right.
We have the money.
He said no telling.
Hey, facts, Cole. Facts. Like we literally have the money.
Right.
Even with as many welfare cases as they like to say we are.
Yes.
We have the money. We have the largest spending dollar power in America.
Right.
And we don't even nowhere near make up 30% of the population.
Right. Right.
We have the money.
Right.
We don't see here. It's not what we do here. All the people that jump on here, we don't do this enough.
Right. Right. Have these conversations. I think I think we short sighted a lot of times. You know, we don't play the long enough game. You know, like this thing with I guess getting Trump out is just it's a beginning. Us getting these black agendas and everyone's coming together, black, black, black. This is a beginning. So these are a lot of discussions that need to culminate into some action. And then when action is taken, then we need to start holding people accountable that we put in position or doing certain things. He said, imagine if we had Black Wall Street like we see Chinatown in every major city. Definitely, definitely. Um, but you know, a lot of that, a lot of that is taking us finding a way to work together past any differences. You know, we struggle with each other sometimes over small things instead of trying to give each other a chance, give each other an opportunity. And sometimes you got to compartmentalize your relationship. Like me and Dwayne may not be able to be cool, but at the same time, he has a good business acumen. You know, he's smart with numbers. So we work financially. When we clock out, it's like you go your way, I'm gonna go mine. We'll meet back here tomorrow at 8. You know,
Right.
because we can't rock like that. You know, we may not agree on everything. So it's like, we ain't cool enough to hang out, but we cool enough to get this business done. You know, so you find your ways to work through it. You know, because you see other people do it all the time. Like I can't stand them, and then they go have business with them because they know they take care of business. They handle the
Facts.
stuff. You know, I can't hang with them though. They stupid. Like I just it's we got to find a way to like we've talked about the different levels of relationships. You know, like everybody, we're not gonna be cool with everybody that we have business with. It's just I have to realize that we're not gonna be cool. Sometimes it's just your attitude sucks, but your business is on point. So
Right.
in essence, I'm gonna use what you have, because I'm paying you or you paying me. However we worked it out, some partnership, but we're gonna work this thing together for a common good. Yes, every
What?
relationship is a
And,
transaction.
and while you were saying that, I'm finna have a geek moment here, and I'm finna have an Animal Planet moment here.
Uh-oh.
You everybody realizes that the lion. Well, we know the saying, "The lion is the king of the jungle," right?
Right. Right.
There's so many things wrong with that. Number
Mm,
one, lions don't live in the jungle ever, ever. They live in savannas,
that's
grasslands. They
good.
don't even
Facts.
live in jungles. That's
Facts.
number one.
Right.
Number two, lions are not even the biggest cats.
Mm.
The Bengal tiger is the biggest cat. It's bigger than a lion and it's more ferocious than a lion.
Lion thinks he's king. Right.
But you know why the lion can say he's the king of the jungle even though he doesn't live in the jungle and even though he's not the biggest cat in the world?
Right.
Because lions are smart.
Right.
Unlike most cats, unlike tigers and leopards and cheetahs, the
Right.
other big cats,
Right.
lions are social creatures.
Right.
Lions link up together.
Right.
So when you face the typical lion, you face a pride.
Right.
And it's not just one huge cat.
Right.
It's 6, 7 huge cats. Females first. And
Right.
then when the females don't get it done, then you get that big dude that comes up from behind them.
Right. Right.
Where
Right.
the tiger, the jaguar, and the leopard, they're solo.
Right.
They're by themselves. They raise their kids. And when they raise their kids, when they get a certain age, they now go out by themselves.
Right.
There's truly power in numbers. There's enough for all of us to go around.
Right.
Look, Ashley can be a star on a network. Cole can be a star on the network. AD can be a star on the network. Terry can be a star on the network. And there's still stuff to go around.
Right.
But we don't see it that way.
Right.
I'm not going to say, because I would just be adding conjecture at this point, I'm not going to say that it's the way we're trained or the way we've been brainwashed, but the reality of it is, it's what we do.
Right.
I see AD shining, and I can't go support him because if I support him, that means I can't eat.
Right. 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 Right.
How many talk show hosts are there right now?
Right. Right.
Right now, how many successful podcasts are there right now?
Tons. Right.
But in our community, I'd rather tear you down if I see you got something that might be in a different, not even better, but in a different vein than mine. But I see that as competition.
Right. Yeah.
That's where we get better. When
Yeah.
when we unify
Right.
this place, our community could be unstoppable.
Right.
The same way America is the greatest country in the world.
Right.
With all of her mess, let me get close to the camera so I can. America is jacked up.
Right.
America is extremely jacked up.
Right.
But there is no place in the world like America.
Right.
I've been to other countries where people don't know where meals are going to come from, where there is no freedom of speech and all these other things.
Right.
So take America and all of her problems, and to me, she's still the best place to live in the world. Now,
Right.
America could be the example of what everything's supposed to be if
Right.
Americans cared about Americans more than Democrats or Republicans.
Right.
I said what I said.
He said what he said. Don't make him say it again. He said, "Cook, Dwayne, cook." But yes, it's true. I think if we could get past a lot of partisan differences, we could find each other, you know, and we could build something great, you know, and each one of us wouldn't have to struggle so much. I think if we just find that dividing line, and I hate that it seems like it's always got to be like one on top. You know, so
There's only room for one.
There's only room for one. You know, like there could be several Denzel Washingtons and Will Smiths. You know, like why can't there just be several that are just great? The greatest country in the world. No offense, it's a no. But it's crazy how we get so stuck in one mindset. You know, because it's funny the way me and Sam were going through like Facebook, and I don't know if it's a new update, but you can't, you know, like you see somebody, you're like, I don't know if I want to go in the room, but you want to listen to it.
Right.
It now won't let you listen to it unless you go in the room.
It says no volume, right?
Right.
It says video has no volume.
Yeah, you gotta go in the room. So I've had folk, you know, like that said, yeah, I watch, you know, but I don't really go in. And like just go in and support, you know, like be there. Like, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy how we don't support. It's crazy how just simple things, you know, like Facebook is easy. Just hit the share. You know, the person's cool. Long as they ain't saying something outlandish that you totally disagree with. And I'm with it because I'm not sharing nothing that's crazy. Or this is like, man, I don't agree with that. I can't share that on my page because that means I agree with it. So if you just like, oh, that's pretty cool, just share it. Just hit the share. Right now, if you're watching, just hit the share. If you've never said a comment in here, that's fine. Just hit the share. Just hit the share. That's all. That's all you gotta do. That's it. That's it.
Look, we are so much better together,
right,
than we are as individuals.
Right.
Unity. I feel like Rick James on the Dave Chappelle sketch. Unity. When for the Dave Chappelle fans, you might have caught that. Look, there's always been power in numbers.
Right.
There's always been safety in the multitude of counsel, the multitude numbers.
Right.
When in the military, a principle that I learned is when you're in defense mode, like when you're defending against anything, right? You need 3 times as many people or forces than what's attacking you.
Right.
So when you're in defense mode, you got to go grab some other stuff because you alone is not enough.
Right.
When you're in attack mode, one third is the ratio. That's the defense offense ratio.
Right.
1/3. 1 attack, 3 defense. So everybody that's in attack mode right now in America and in our community, what if we was on the same page and we're not holding attacks on 15 different fronts?
Right.
Because think about it.
Right.
If you need 3, I mean, even the Bible kind of gives a certain ratio. One of us can put 1,000 to flight. 2 of us 10,000.
Right.
3 of us with that ratio keep going. That's 100,000.
Right.
So ratios are important.
Right.
But what if the 15 different people that's attacking 15 different agendas over here get together? See those 15 people over there that's attacking those 15 people attacking those 15 different agendas.
Right.
You need 45 people to attack those 15 agendas and be efficient. Now you take those 15 people and put them together. Right. Now those 15 people can attack five different agendas and be successful. Take out 5 different agendas, then attack another 5.
Right.
But no, we're 15 separate people attacking. It doesn't work. The math doesn't work out. We can do so much more together. And guess what?
Right.
We don't have to be the same.
Right. So so 2 things. Well, actually, I'm gonna take a quick break because tonight at 8:30 we have the awesome Samantha and crew at Sisters of Legacy.
The sisters.
So stay tuned. There we go. So I'm gonna put this question up, and let me see who agrees with it. Who agrees with term limits? Term limits. Who agrees with that? And we're talking about attacking one issue at a time. Term limits. And it's funny. Oh, let me put Cole's thing up real quick. He said, "Here's the problem that comes into play. There are so many people who want to be the HNIC." If you don't know what that is, I guess you might be a little young. It doesn't work like the Wu-Tang Clan when different guys shine, right? Right. He said,
the head nephew in charge.
There you go.
nephew.
Almost every collective I've been a part of has broken down. Wow, because the self-interest poisoned the unity, which is supposed to elevate us. I know, Cole. I know. And it seems like it gets to a certain point. And it just either all money comes into play. Mm-hmm. That's the rough part. Thank you, Mama Corey. Absolutely, term limits.
Absolutely.
And I think most Americans, other than those that are employed or have family employed, exactly, she does as well. Diana, good morning, my friend. Because I'm sure, and I'm gonna post this. Like, there are probably about at least 3 to 4 things I can put up that I can get at least 90% support from both sides that we can agree on that we need to tackle. And it's funny, everybody's plan that's come from like Congress, like anybody presidential, political, they always promise that. If you ever notice that, they always say term limits, always, but no one ever gets it done. Right.
Can I tell you something else that most people probably don't know when it comes to term limits or non-term limits?
Yes, sir.
I think they need to change retirement policies as well. Serve 1 term in the Senate, and you are now senators pay forever.
Right. It's the quickest retirement, right?
Right. I'm talking about it's a healthy retirement.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
You getting 6 figures for the rest of your life for 2 years that you might have stunk up.
Right.
Real talk.
Right. So we put a caveat. So there's term limits, and if you do, let's just say 3 terms, 4 terms. If you do all 4, then you've retired. You've done your work. You obviously, it seems like you handled your job. You should get something. So I'm with you on that. Because you do 2 years. That's dope. I just got to survive 2 years. just survive. So,
Facts.
Yeah, so I agree with that. Cause and it's funny though, right, Dwayne? Think about all the people that have been through the House and through Senate that we're still paying. They
Right.
don't put that part of the
That's
national
still
debt.
alive.
Right. They don't put that on the national debt. They don't show their numbers because I wonder what those numbers look like. He said, he said, "You mean you don't want any more?" Right.
Look,
So,
look. I'm from South Carolina, Cole. I'm from South Carolina. I've met that old man a couple times. Look, I met him in the third grade,
wow.
and then I met him in high school.
Wow.
Guess what he was still doing both times? The senator of South Carolina. Guess when else he was a senator? When my mama got married in 1957.
It's crazy.
It's he's right. I mean,
Yeah.
whew.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I get it. Sometimes you're like, you know what, this job be great, and I get benefits. Look,
It,
I can't be mad.
but I don't even blame them.
No, yeah, no doubt, no
It's
doubt.
people vote if people put you in the office for 50 years, you would think that either you're doing an amazing job
Right, right,
or you don't have a choice. It's like,
right,
we can't vote for this guy.
right.
This
Ooh,
guy? No, we can't vote for that guy. No, we're going to vote you back in. 50,
right, right,
54 years. He was a senator for
right,
longer than I've been alive right now.
right, right. And then what happens? I guess I don't even know how this works. Like sometimes, like they die, and then the wife takes over.
Now, see, I'm not going to speak on that because I don't know the particulars. So,
Yeah, I don't need. I
yeah,
know. I've heard it. I've seen it. I just
you're going
yeah.
to make me go do some research, though.
Yeah, I gotta look. Yeah, because I've seen it maybe once or twice, and I don't think they've been in politics. Somehow they, yeah, I didn't know that's possible. But if they voted her in, that's something different. Hey, it's
Right.
all good. She got in properly. I'm with you. But yeah, that's a long time.
Is brother AD
Yes.
sole proprietor CEO of Brothers of Legacy? Can I give a Dwayne Goodson statement
Sure can.
absent of okay?
Sure can.
So God has been revealing some things to me,
Okay.
and this is Dwayne.
Okay.
This is my relationship with God,
Okay.
and you can do all the research you want. And if anyone finds biblical evidence that I'm wrong, I will apologize publicly. But this is what I've been feeling.
Okay.
You ever been upset with your children when you was about to do something and they want, especially when they're small or they
Right.
don't understand, and they just start crying
Right.
and complaining?
Right.
Did you ever use these words to them? You keep crying, you're gonna stay right there and you're not going.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right. Right. Right.
God checked my spirit yesterday.
Okay.
I had just taken my daughter for a walk,
Okay.
and the whole entire walk symbolized like life in general.
Mm.
First, and I was talking to Pastor. Me and Pastor was having a conversation, and he was talking to me about pushing forward, not going back.
Right.
At this moment, I was going up a hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have the wagon with my daughters in it. I'm
Right.
pulling the wagon,
Right.
so it's a workout, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And then we get home, and my beautiful little Bella, 2 years old, she says, "Daddy, my bracelet, Daddy."
Oh.
Now we just walked about a mile and some change in a wagon
Right.
with the two of them,
Right.
and I'm like, where could this bracelet be? So I had to backtrack the entire way that we walked,
Right.
and I found the bracelet almost where we started, but I had to go around to get back to.
Right. Because you backtracked. I got you.
And God told me at that moment, He was like, for the people that I love,
Right.
I go back out of my way
Mm.
through the stuff that you decided to go through
Right.
to find you
Right.
and to make you whole again.
Amen.
And that was the bracelet, right?
Wow.
It didn't stop there.
Right.
After I went and walk the extra mile pulling a wagon
Right.
with 2 children.
Right.
We find the bracelet, we get home. So she had twice the amount of time that she normally would have to have outside,
Right.
and it wasn't enough for her.
Wow.
And she began to cry and to complain.
Wow.
She was tired, but
Right.
nonetheless, she began to cry and to complain.
Right.
And God told me, this is how I felt.
Right.
The way you feel right now, this is how I felt with the children of Israel when it came from them leaving Egypt in captivity,
Right.
seeing miracles for 40 days,
Right.
for 40 years
Right.
in the wilderness, seeing these miracles and seeing me provide for them.
Right.
I was no longer enough for them.
Right.
So they began to complain,
Right.
and they began to grumble.
Right.
So I gave them an ultimatum. And this is my conjecture. This is what I believe from God. This part is not in the Bible. But God told me, he told the children of Israel that if you continue to complain, fine, you're going to stay where you're at and you're not going to go here. What we see in the Bible is because of their complaining,
Right.
they didn't go to the promised land.
Right.
They had to die off before they got to the promised land.
Right. Right.
America is in that place right now. And just at this moment, I just thought about the 400 years of hardship that black people had to endure in this country.
Right.
Almost similar to what black people had to endure, the Hebrews had to endure in Egypt. And I can hear God say, again, this is my conversations with God. This is not the view of the Brothers of Legacy. This is Dwayne. Not saying that they disagree, but this is me. But I hear God saying that if we continue to complain,
Right.
if we continue to depend on things outside of him, the
Right.
person who's been holding us all this time, there's many of you that are going to die where you are, and
Wow.
you're not going to make it into the promised land.
Right.
I don't know what the promised land for you is. I don't know what he promised you.
Right.
But I do know that he assured us that he's with us always,
Right.
even until the end of the earth.
Right.
Some of you have put politicians above God.
Right.
Some of you have put the Democratic or the Republican Party ahead of God. And I can hear God saying as plain as day, whatever you depend on, whoever you depend on, that's who you're going to have to look to in the troubles that's coming.
Right.
So I'm not saying don't vote. It's absolutely imperative to vote.
Right. Right.
But what I'm telling you, regardless of who you vote for,
Right.
if you identify yourself with the name of Christ,
Right.
that's where you should be looking to.
Right.
After you vote,
Right.
that's where you should be looking to.
Right.
That's all I got, brother. I just
right.
had this. I had to. I
Listen.
appreciate you giving me the liberty to do
Oh,
that.
you good? You good? I mean, I trust you. So speaking of what Dwayne talking about, God and politics, you're right. Pray, but I wanted, if my people would be on tomorrow. We had some personal stuff going on with everybody. Me and Dwayne's here, of course. I want to kind of talk about God and politics, and I got this great snippet that Obama talked about. It was honestly, like, he's always eloquent with words. So we're gonna dive into that tomorrow, possibly. So definitely stay tuned. Make sure you share this out. Let everybody know Brother Legacy in the building. So listen, if you're watching this right now and you're in Facebook land, right? What I want you to do is go to the Brother Legacy page. Like, once I'm done, click out of this, go to the page, hit invite. Maybe I do a little video. Hit invite and invite everybody on your list. Just start clicking. And sometimes I think Facebook allows you to hit select all. Hit the select all button and just go on with your day. If you agree with at least most of what we say, hit the select all, invite your people to the page so they can have an opportunity to be a part of this conversation. Because through conversation, change begins to happen, and that's what we're here for. All right. So we're on, like I said, every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. until, hey, who knows? And I know Ashley and BJ, I think, mentioned the 2-hour show maybe one day. But
yes, sir.
2 hours is a minute, and we're men of older stature, so we gotta take moments and breaks.
Hey, look, I can talk.
Listen, we can chat.
Sometimes I need water, don't be having
it. We need breaks. We need a little break. Listen. But so we appreciate you guys. We in here, yes indeed. He said wagons on the hill with the wing. That was good. That's good. All right. So as always, we appreciate you guys. I want you to be blessed. Keep pushing, keep growing. Enjoy your day today. Be safe, be safe, be safe. Make sure you vote. There's early voting going on in most states. But the key is vote. Vote, 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 vote. And we will see you tomorrow. Always know that we love you, but God loves you more. Take care. And again, be safe, be smart. You can have an instrument. Right? Yeah, you're right. That's what our commercial breaks are for. We make them a little longer because sometimes
Mama McCrory.
Make it run. All right. Thank you so much, Mama McCrory. I appreciate you being here.
Greatly appreciate you.
And pushing us when we're running behind 2 hours just every once in a while. Right. Listen, but you know how we do. Once we start the 2 hours, it's gonna be every day.
Right.
We gonna fall into the trend. It's gonna be every day.
That got to be like a wrap up. We got to have like a season. Maybe create a season, like 13 episodes, and at the end of the season, have a wrap up show.
Right. Okay. We'll talk about that. That's
yeah.
That's a good.
Look at God. Good. Hey, Mama McCrory, I just want to shout you out for real.
Yes.
Like, I know if my mom could be in a position to be like you are, she absolutely would. My mom loves me. But I'm thankful that we have a strong woman like you who's raised strong men who support them even now. Right. It's an encouragement. So thank you. All of you guys that constantly show up, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Absolutely. You could be watching anything. There's so much. You could be watching TV, Netflix, Hulu, but you hung out with us for a whole hour. And I appreciate it. All right. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same channel. Later.
I didn't want to catch that morning. Good morning. Welcome to another. Good morning.